Hey guys, Dan here at Range of Motion. I want to talk today to the people who are reluctant to start exercise because exercise is hard. Now, of course, yes, exercise is hard, but I want to talk about how it's a relative difficulty, it's a relative intensity. When we look to start an exercise program, so this is someone who has never exercised previously, the gym is definitely not their sort of place. They're not someone who'd consider themselves an exerciser. We need to look at the barriers to entry. So we need to look at what it is that's stopping people from exercising. Now, maybe this is education. They don't know what they should be doing. Maybe there's a motivation issue. Maybe their problem is time or the finances, the money it costs to be able to exercise. But for a lot of people, there's a reluctance to start because they believe that the exercise is too difficult. And some people will say, well, I need to get fit before I can go and start an exercise program, which of course doesn't really make sense because that program is what's going to help you get fit, is what's going to help you to get healthy. So yes, to a point, exercise does have to be difficult, but it's important to understand that difficulty, that intensity has to be relative. Now, intensity is important. It's probably the most important variable, I believe, other than consistency in trying to get all the health benefits of exercise, because in the end we're exercising for our health, not for fitness or performance or to look good, although those things do happen as well. We're trying to get healthier. So intensity is very important, but the key concept to understand here is that intensity is relative. It's relative to you. So what may be a 7 out of 10 intensity for me may be very different to your 7 out of 10. You may be working harder or less hard at that same point. So when you go to start an exercise program, don't be put off by people working hard and making noise and sweating a lot and lifting really heavy weights. Because for them, that intensity is appropriate to their background, it's appropriate to their abilities. But for you, maybe that intensity could be something like standing up from a chair and sitting down again, or walking around the block every day, or walking to the mailbox and back every day. Intensity is relevant to the person. And if you can understand that, then maybe we're starting to reduce one of those barriers to entry to exercise, and it can become a little less intimidating and a little more applicable to you. Now, it's important to know that when you first start an exercise program, if you go from doing no exercise at all to even a very small amount of exercise, there is an enormous benefit to your health. So going from 0 to something, that is the biggest improvement that you can make, because then going from something to a moderate amount or a moderate amount to a lot, you get this law of diminishing returns where you don't get as much benefit the more you do. So going from 0 minutes of exercise a week to 10 minutes a week has an enormous benefit. Then if you go to 20 minutes a week, there's still a good improvement, but not as much as that first improvement. And then the more you do, the less the improvement is. So the key here and the moral of the story is just start. Just get some exercise started, even if it's very little, even if it's not structured. Because the lowest hanging fruit, the best way that you can improve your health is just by starting, by doing a very small amount. A lot of people think that they have to be motivated and that the motivation needs to come first, then they can start the exercise program. So people think of this process of motivation, action. But what I want to do is talk about flipping this around. It's not motivation that causes you to start exercising. Motivation doesn't drive action. Action drives your motivation. Because even if you don't feel like it, if you can start exercising, you then start to feel a lot better. You feel better about yourself, you feel better physically, healthier, and also mentally, psychologically. As soon as you start to feel better about yourself, then the action, the exercise you've done, will drive your motivation. Because if you're feeling good, you want to do everything you can to keep feeling good. So don't wait to feel like you want to exercise. Start exercising. That will make you motivated. And before you know it, you won't need motivation anymore because the exercise will become a habit, a normal part of your life. Just remember, everything exists on a continuum. You may be at the very, very start of the continuum, but you're still on that continuum. You've still begun. You don't have to be an Olympic athlete. You don't have to be a top-level competitor. You can just be someone who goes from doing nothing to something. Don't worry about getting to the end of the continuum. Just move a centimeter up. Because those tiny improvements, those tiny gains, they're what cause the biggest difference. So that's my big takeaway from today, guys. Don't let motivation be needed to drive the action, but use the action to drive the motivation. And to do that, just start. You don't need to exercise hard, you just need to exercise. You just need to do something. So make that first step, guys, and work your way up that continuum. Any questions, please comment, post below, or you can contact me. My email is dan@rangeofmotion.net.au. I'll do anything I can to help. Thank you.